Welcome to bLU Talks.
Hey guys, I am super excited to be here at the University of Alberta today. I was born and raised in Edmonton, so this is my turf. I am, as she mentioned, I am a connector. I connect people, and I do this in a really unique way where I don't only bring them together and introduce them, but I create trust between people. So today I'm talking to you guys about rebuilding the global village, the community of humanity. So, centuries ago, sorry, I'm gonna start that one again. Centuries ago, the global village was destroyed. This happened when patriarchal religions came in, mainly Christianity at this point, and took over what was originally a matriarchal community, matriarchy-led people, okay? So matriarchy being women. Who here has heard of the witch hunts? Yeah, or the witch trials, right? Really often we hear about the Salem witch trials, but that's not always the only thing. The witch trials really destroyed the global village by destroying trust. Friends turning in friends, family turning in family. You didn't know who you could trust. Now, we've all heard it takes a village to raise a child, and that is absolutely true. If you are a mom or a dad, it takes a village. It is not easy to do on your own. But so often we see children feeling disconnected, unimportant, adrift in the world. Moms feeling unsupported energetically, spiritually, even physically, definitely mentally. And for centuries now, this lack of a global village has created a world where astronomical suicide rates exist. War is constantly in the media. Terrorism, all of it. Now, we are not meant to do any of our lives alone. It takes a village not just to raise a child, but for anyone to feel safe, to feel supported, and to live life to their fullest. Now, most women that I've talked to anyway have experienced being belittled, sexualized, trodden on, and feeling like a failure because with all of that, they still can't maintain everything else. Many women, especially when they get into my world, have started entrepreneurial businesses to try to show their creativity and shine their light to the world in a way where they feel safe to express themselves. Unfortunately, creating a business is hard. So that adds to their loneliness. They end up being at home by themselves trying to build this business. It adds to their workload and to their mental load a lot. So by the time they get to me, what they need most in the world is a friend. Now, what does women and sisterhood and all of that have to do with rebuilding the global village? Well, sisterhood's the first step. And here's why. When women have sisterhood, we can rebuild community. Families heal when women have sisterhood. Communities heal when women have sisterhood. Collective traumas and wounds heal when women have sisterhood. From a shamanic perspective, we are all part of the one. We are all one. And anything that I do in my practice, whether it's working with animals, plants, people, doesn't matter. I am always doing it in the interests of the best interests of all and with harm to none. I am looking at everything and everyone as equal, as worthy, just as they are. No one is less than, nothing is less than. Now, pre-Christianity, like I mentioned, we had matriarchal societies a lot of the time. You had healers, who were the ones that everyone came to. And guess what? There's almost no evidence of war in those societies. When they dig up bones, when they dig up the old structures, there's no evidence that people went to war. So I'm not saying today that we should return to a matriarchal society. I'm also not saying that the patriarchy should stay. We need healthy, healed masculine. And we need sisterhood for women. So having women at the table is key to rebuilding the global village. And having safe spaces where women can create that sisterhood has to come first. Now, I do believe, I'm a firm believer, that we can rebuild the global village. John Lennon said, "You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one." And I know I'm not the only one, because in my village, in the village of people that I've created around me, I see it all the time. People who believe this. We're starting to see all over the world, and it's beautiful, cracks in the foundation of the patriarchy. In music, in movies, it's starting to come through. My absolute favorite example for this one, and I feel kind of goofy, but I love children's movies. Okay, so in Trolls World Tour, right near the end, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, all of the tribes, all of the different groups of trolls come together, and they all feel that their music has been lost. They all turn gray, they lose their color, they lose their passion for life, they don't believe that they can go on. And it's because they had been taught that they needed to be separate, that they had to have only this one kind of music and this kind of music and this kind of music. And they're all standing there just dejected and gray, looking down. And all of a sudden, in the silence, you hear, and it's a heartbeat. One of the trolls' heartbeats is starting, you can hear it audibly in the room, right? And you can see the light in his chest. It's bright, it's lit up. And then, one by one, you start to hear the other trolls' heartbeats. And they all add in to create this rhythm, this music, this harmony. They rediscover that music comes from within and that we all have something to contribute. Now, Disney movies didn't always get it right, but they're doing pretty good lately. They're starting to bring big spiritual topics to the table, and they're doing it in a really subtle way. But I really love it. Actresses, singers, you're starting to see it a lot, are letting other women know that they're not alone, that they've experienced the same things. These are the things that light the spark in other women, that fan the flames so that we feel safe to tell our truth. Even when they were burning women and men, there were a few men that were burned as well at the stake, they never completely stamped out our spark. Sisterhood is still possible. And women's intuition, which we've all heard of, is a powerful tool. When women come together, that power is amplified. We rise together. And we rise together because we were never meant to do this alone. In the times ahead, the times that are coming, we need to come together. We can't do this alone anymore. We won't be able to. There is an incredible distortion between spiritual communities and non-spiritual communities that I've noticed, and I'm noticing it more and more as time goes on, that when everything hits the fan, when Murphy's Law prevails, we are, it's overwhelming. We've all been there. It's hard. In spiritual communities, though, we call this coming into alignment. Anything that's not aligned falls away, and things that need to be healed come to light. We celebrate it almost in spiritual communities. But outside of that, they call it too much. And people feel alone, and they give up. The key to life is we're not supposed to do this alone. So we can't continue. You can't continue to do it alone. You need to get yourself and your loved ones into a village. And I believe that in years to come, we will see more, actually, of suicides, shootings, all of it. And it will become unbearable to be alone. So we need to create our tribe. We need to heal the global village. And there is a web of connection between all of us. We are all connected. And as I mentioned before, shamanically, we are all one. So search. Don't just sit there and wait for them to come to you. Search for your tribe. Find your people. And especially women need to do this. Women are the natural carers, the natural connectors, the lifeblood of the family, literally giving birth to the next generation. We are also the beating heart of the community. Now, men, I'm not trying to diss you, okay? You support women to do this, and you can if you're not yet. You support them financially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. You can contribute. Putting your time in and giving attention to the details that women are historically known to keep track of, that mental load. However, women are the only ones who can create sisterhood. There are no knights in shining armor coming to save us, ladies. Women must stop competing with each other. That corporate ladder doesn't work anymore. No more climbing, no more competing. We need community and collaboration. We need to rebuild the trust in sisterhood and in women helping women. Now, this is not easy, especially as a woman. We bear the collective traumas of the witch wound. We have had generations of women who were not safe to speak their truth. And that is in our blood. That is in our DNA. Now, it is a leap of faith. One of my favorite things in the world is to take a leap of faith. I've learned to really love it. But it's hard, and I know that it's hard for most people to trust someone with your soul, with your heart, with your truth. And especially if you've done it before, like so many of us women have, given our trust and had it broken. Can't give up though. This world depends on us. If women were to fade out, the human race would be destroyed, right? So we literally cannot give up. It's time for us to rise. It's time to become the leader that you needed when you didn't have one. It's time to teach your family the ways of community. And it is time to lead our communities with compassion, with inspiration, intuition, softness, and collaboration. We lost faith in that sisterhood through no fault of our own at the hands of the patriarchy, but we are the only ones who can fix it. Now, I didn't always believe in sisterhood. For a couple of decades at least, the world tried to show me proof that there was no such thing. Every woman, girl, whatever, that I became friends with stabbed me in the back, competed with me somehow, was intimidated by me because I've always been a natural leader. But I always knew that that was false. As a child, I was very poor growing up, but I always loved everybody. I then married, I had money, but I was held down. I was married to a narcissist. And my voice was silenced for a while. Now, currently, I have more village than I have time for. I am a single mom, as she mentioned, raising 3 kids. I have multiple businesses, and I am changing the world because I'm not doing it alone. My village shows me that there's hope for humanity and that there's hope to rebuild that global village. So if I did it, coming from no money, coming from having been held down and kept down. So can you. From a very young age, I have always been a connector. I connected kids with other kids who they didn't want to hang out with on their own, or they thought they were too cool for. Everyone hung out with me. You couldn't avoid it. I also volunteered at the old folks' homes with the elderly. I wanted to hear their stories. I wanted to see their light shine through their eyes. So if I could do it for others, I knew, even through those decades of suppression, that I could do it for me. Now, I built my own tribe. I created it. One person, one woman, one friend at a time. Then another. And now I am helping to rebuild that global village, standing on this stage talking to you. You can do this too. You can and you must do this too. Start today. Turn to the woman next to you and ask her name. Be vulnerable. There is no more time to lose. The world needs you. I need you. Together, we can and will rebuild the global village of humanity. I hope that you will join me in that. Thank you for allowing me to share a piece of myself and my passion today, and I hope that it has inspired you to add your heartbeat to the song of humanity.